All right, I'm going to do a quick example of astronomical dating inside biblical prophecy. Um, we'll see these types of signs, astronomical signs, in many books: Daniel, Revelation from John, Ezekiel, even some of the minor prophets use these. And I'm going to use Daniel 8 as an example mainly because Gabriel, the angel, gave the vision to Daniel, but also interpreted it in the same chapter. So there's no guesswork of what he was actually talking about on this. And since this was a past prophecy, we have all the dates that we need to verify this as we go through it. So we're going to start off verse 1. In the third year of the reign of King Belteshazzar, the vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. I saw in the vision, it was so happened while I was looking that I was in Shushan, the citadel, which is the province of Elam, and I saw the vision that I was by the river Ulai. Now this is a vision, so Daniel is awake during this. It's not a dream. So he's actually physically seeing something in this vision. Now he's by this river and he's looking westward, by this river on the horizon. So, and then we're going to skip down to the ram. Verse 3, then I lifted my eyes, and I saw there was standing beside the river was a ram, which had two horns, and the two horns were high. But one was higher than the other, and the higher one came up last. So these horns are moving during his vision, which is a big indicator. Now, astronomical signs, horns represent planets. And the reason why is stars in the skies put off their own light. Planets do not. They actually reflect light from the sun or nearby bodies. So just like our moon, they go through phases, like a crescent moon. And in those phases, they are shaped like a horn. That's where they would get that description from. Um, Moving on, verse 4. I saw the ram pushing westward, northward, and southward, so that no animal could withstand him, nor was there any that could deliver him his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. Okay, so we're looking westward here, and the ram is actually Aries, the constellation Aries. And we have two planets, Saturn and Venus. Now, the reason for the description as far as the westward, northward, and southward, now that could have very well been the armies moving in history for the battle, and it probably was. But what you're also going to notice too is that Venus actually has a circular pattern when it goes through precession. So you're going to see this now as I move through this. Now again, this is stellarium. So stellarium counts year 0. That's a good note because it's showing here 533 when we know the needs of Persia conquered Babylon at 534. So we actually have to add a year here. In BC, anything in BC, you have to add a year in here to match up with historical record because Stellarium uses year 0. I think it's just something built into the software. So let's move forward in time here, and you'll see Venus. Oops, move this over. I moved it a month, so let's get back here. So we're in February here. Venus is going to move into the sky. And notice it's actually pulling away from the path of the sun. This is the path of the sun here through the zodiac. So it's pulling away, heading more northward, which is kind of to the right of west. It circles around. Now it comes back west, crosses over the ecliptic, heading more south, and then it comes and passes Saturn. All around the constellation Aries, the same year that the Mede and Persian conquered Babylon. I don't know the actual month and day at which this took place, but It's quite remarkable that this happened right in the same year as it was told in the constellation Aries. So we're skipping down to the goat. And as I was considering, suddenly a male goat came from the west across the surface of the whole earth without touching the ground. And the goat had a noticeable horn between his eyes. Okay, so we do know later on that Gabriel said that this is Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great became king in 336 BC. He actually started his conquests in 335 BC. So we're going to skip forward in time to that. Again, this 336 here is actually 335 because we have to add a year onto it. And what we notice in October, late October, early November of that year, Saturn is right in the front of the goat constellation, which is Capricorn. Now Saturn has a path through the ecliptic. It takes like 20 some years for that to complete. So it's pretty remarkable that it landed right there in front of Capricorn that same year. Reading on, and I saw that confronting the ram, he was moved with rage against him, attacking the ram and broke his two horns. There was no power in the ram to withstand him, but he cast him down to the ground and trampled him. And there was no one that could deliver the ram from his hand. Verse 8, therefore the male goat grew very great. But when he became strong, the large horn was broken, and in place of it, four noticeable ones came up toward the four winds of heaven. Okay, so Saturn represents Alexander the Great here. So what we're going to do, we're going to move forward in time to where Alexander ends his conquest. He dies in 23 BC, but he ends his conquest a year prior to that, which is what this is right here. Again, we added one here to get this date. So this is actually 322. Yeah, 322 BC. And in that time, here's Saturn. And this is almost exactly a year from his death. This is actually in May. And in that time, Saturn's there. And you'll see Jupiter pass it. There's one. Now we're looking for four horns to grow out of it. Mercury passes it. There's two. Venus, three. And the last one will be Mars, four. Now that happened all within like 3 months, which is basically the same amount of time it took a year later for those four generals to take control of the empire. So pretty remarkable stuff. There's more to learn on this, and again, there's a lot more in the minor prophets. John's Revelation is just filled with this. It's so much. It's going to take me a while to put it all together. And even in Daniel 12, there are astronomical signs in there that state in prophecy, and you can even correlate it to Revelation 2, Revelation 10 and 11, I believe, from Daniel 12. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hoping to make more of these. And thanks for watching.